Alright, so it looks like we've had a bit of a skill rebalancing, which is very weird considering the new world's just released and like the last ban list has already gone through and been implemented and they just didn't put this with that one. It looked like they were going to skip the skill rebalancing, but I guess they just waited to see what the meta impact was going to be like before deciding to rebalance some skills. I don't really know what they're going to hit on here, considering the tier list. The main offender, the Pendulum deck list, is no longer tiered. It sort of fell off after the last ban list, so maybe Trickstar has been in here a bit too long, but I guess, what are they going to do to the skill, seriously? Like, the skill's barely even, like... I mean, Asartic's still abusing Synchron, so maybe they will try to take Synchron out of Asartic's, maybe, add some restrictions to it. 3FX, maybe. Black Closet Soldier's a bit too new. Rocket, nah. Gandora, maybe. D-Heroes that are sort of falling off a little bit after the last ban list. I honestly have no clue what's going to go on this ban list, because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for them to be adding one outside of maybe removing the Synchron from Asartic. I think that's a pretty big meta abuser, so in a way that's probably not meant to be intended, so let's take a look. Alright, we've got Treasure Phantom, Mechl Refinement, Order of Chaos, and 3FX. So Treasure Phantom has no wording below it, so I don't know if this is a normally they do this when it's like just a wording change or something, so maybe that's it. Mechl Refinement. The skill can be reverted to its original effect. Oh yeah, so this is just being reverted because it's no longer a very strong top tier deck list by any means. So I assume that's going to be good for the deck list. I doubt it'll be meta relevant even with a change. Order of Chaos. We are strengthening some character exclusive skills to make them easier to use. This is the Onomat skill, right? That's a weird change, considering I thought the skill was already pretty good. I guess it didn't reach their goals of being like a top tier sort of a deck after they released it, despite it being a fairly decent deck list, so maybe they were just interested in making it stronger for whatever reason, didn't quite meet their goals. Still a weird change, considering I'm pretty sure the skill is still very decent, especially on ladder. Maybe not in tournament play, but on ladder it's sick. And 3FX, and this will be life points, right? The skill is given a harder activation condition as allow, gain too much life points. They don't want this being played in Trickstar anymore, and they don't want you gaining 50 billion life points in 10 year anymore, so makes complete sense. Also is being abused in Goki as well to gain like 4,000 life points and stuff. Obviously, it probably needed a bit of a change. It's being abused a little bit too much. Sure, that's basically the only meta impact for one. I'm shocked there's no Synchron on here. I thought like 100% they'd add a restriction to Synchron, but they just didn't, I guess, so good on them. I don't know. I don't know, it's a weird ban list, but anyway. Moving on, what do we got? Treasure Phantom. So, what did you do? Updated skills. Okay, so we just have to look for where the wording has changed and where things are shorter. The following effects can be used once per duel. Reveal a total of 2 Found Night monsters and or Found Night's Blown Trap cards from your hand, return one of them to the deck, and send one Found Night's monster from your deck to the graveyard. Reveal a total of 2 Found Night monsters from your hand, return one of them to the deck, and send... Okay, so we've already got shorter text here. Spell and Trap card, right? Okay, so they've made it so that... Okay, so I can't remember the skill for the life of me because it's been so long since I've used it. It's very much out of date. I thought you could already reveal spell and trap cards with this, unless I'm completely... Maybe I'm actually just off my rocker trying to remember how this skill works. But either this is a buff, or they've just made it so that the wording is more clear. Because it basically just allows you to use Found Night monsters and Found Night spell and trap cards for the skill. And I thought that's already how the skill works, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe they did just change the wording to make it more clear as to what you can do. Add that to a buff and you can now use spell and trap cards, which is cool either way, because this skill is probably a little outdated or just not seeing that much play anymore, so it's fine if it's a buff, and if it's not a buff, it's just a wording clear up, sure. Alright, Mechl Refinement. I don't need to go through the skill too much because, yeah, it's just being reverted, so if you're used to playing the old Mechl, there you go, you've now got your old variant of the skill back. I highly doubt this will be some sort of big meta impactful change because, well, it's just a little outdated Mechlord. It's just not really that much of a deck. It's nice that they've decided to revert it back, considering it just isn't seeing any play anymore. It was probably still like a... Oh god, trying not to sneeze. It's probably going to be still a non-meta impactful deck list or anything like that, but if you want to get cog with it, sure. Most things can get cog anyway, so... It's nice they decide to revert something that is clearly not seeing that much play anymore anyway. Alright, here's an interesting one. Order of Chaos. Right, let's look for where there is a lot more... Okay, so it's already weirdly formatted going on here. This rank 4 is already on a different sentence, so I guess it's a, So it's probably going to be in the first paragraph. You can activate this at the blow effect once per turn each. You can activate this blow once per turn each. During the duel, the skill is used. You can only special summon your toe monsters and monsters with a level of rank of 4. During this duel, you can only special summon your toe monsters and monsters with a level rank of 4. Okay, so they've removed this skill is used. So does that mean... Oh, this is so... Okay, so this is going to be like one of those things I'm going to have to try to test because it could be some weird wording. I can't tell if this means you can now use rank 6s and level 2s before using the skill. Then you can activate the skill and you can still and then you can still activate the skill. Like, it doesn't prevent you from activating it. Or if this means if you do use those cards, you're not able to activate the skill. I mean, that's still how the case was anyway, right? So I can't tell if this is letting... I really wish they'd make things clear what the change is and what they're doing here. Because if that's the change, they've just removed this skill is used. And you can just summon rank 6s now. But I feel like you could do that anyway with the previous variant. Because it just wouldn't let you use the skill. But I guess it wouldn't let you activate it whatsoever. But now you can. I don't know, this is some weird change. I don't think this is going to be much of a buff to the skill at all. Because I don't think people are going to forcibly run rank 6s in their deck list and level 2s in their deck list for just to then make their skill turn off. That makes no sense whatsoever. So I don't really know how... I assume this is mistranslated or weirdly worded, and it means that you can activate level 6s and stuff, or you can summon level 6s, but as soon as you use the skill, it locks you out of it. That might be what it means. If that's the case, that's a huge buff. If that's not the case, I don't really know what this is going to change with the deck list. And I think that's all they've changed with it. Because everything else seems like it's formatted the same way. If there are no monsters on your field, you can normal summon... I also wish they just make it very clear what they've changed so I don't have to spend 20 minutes doing spot the difference. I don't see any other changes, so I think that's all they've changed, which is really strange. I don't know, maybe I'm completely missing the point of this change. Maybe someone in the comments will point out to me, but I don't really see the point of this unless it's sort of translated wrong, and it basically means you can use level 6s and level 2s before you activate the skill, then you can still use the skill afterwards. If that's how that works. I don't know. Either way, I'm not sure. Alright, let's see what the actual one that matters. 3FX. What the hell did they do to this? So the only thing they changed would be the life point requirement, right? So what did they change in regards to that? Alright. Select one elite monster you control and apply one of the following effects of your choice. 3. Increase your life points by an amount equal to the link rating of that monster times 600. Oh, so they've just reduced... Oh, that skill's dead. Okay. Yep. 600 times the link rating, or just flat out gaining like 4,000 life points from the skill. Oh yeah, that skill's pretty dead. So Tenyi was using a link 3, right? So we're gaining 3 times 6. That's nowhere near 3k. Yeah. What's that, 1,800 life points or something? Yeah, okay, this skill's dead as hell. Very, 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 very dead. Can't even use it in Trickstar anymore. Alright, well, sure. Rip the skill. Probably a good thing. It was kind of being abused where it probably wasn't meant to. But yeah, I think that's all they've changed. So from this, we've gotten... not a whole lot of difference in meta outside of 3FX, which actually is probably pretty impactful. I think this was the mainly used skill for Tenyi, if I'm not mistaken. That's actually the Master Duel ban list. I was a little bit late too, so I'm not going to react to that one. But I think this one was just using 3FX. Yeah, 92% using 3FX, so... yeah, sure, I guess. I'm shocked Synchron wasn't impacted by this, and it really wasn't that impactful of a ban list, I guess, but the meta didn't really need one. It was more yeah, I don't know, it's more in need of a new box than a new ban list. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little ban list reaction. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe. A bunch of videos coming out today, all regards to Rush Duel, so make sure to check those out. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next one, and laters.